Welcome to TalentMotives, the deep dive, uncovering what drives you.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We are so glad you're here with us.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Our mission today is to explore a piece of HR technology called LiDi Ai.
Right.
And we're going to look at how it's radically changing the way college students prepare for the workforce by looking far beyond traditional metrics.
It's a massive shift. I mean, we are moving past the era of simply matching a college degree to a generic job description.
Yeah.
This is about replacing the guesswork of early career transitions with highly personalized, data-driven behavioral analytics.
Okay, let's unpack this. If you are listening to this, you probably already know how outdated traditional career counseling is.
Oh, absolutely.
I still remember my first job out of college. I took it purely because the title sounded prestigious.
And how did that work out?
Within a month, I was hiding in the supply closet, questioning all of my life choices.
Yeah, the sources we're looking at point out that this is a systemic data problem. Students frequently choose their majors or careers based entirely on what sounds good on paper, or, to satisfy parental pressure.
The result is a massive mismatch, leading to intense frustration, constant job hopping, and burnout right out of the gate.
Because the traditional inputs are completely flawed. HR algorithms historically just parsed resumes for keywords or GPA.
But a transcript doesn't tell an employer if a candidate will actually thrive in the daily grinding reality of a specific role.
Exactly. And that's where LiDi Ai steps in to fill the gap.
But wait, before we get into the weeds, how is this different from the personality tests we've had for decades?
That's a fair question.
Isn't this just a glorified Myers-Briggs quiz with an AI label slapped on it to secure venture capital?
No, it is fundamentally different. What's fascinating here is the underlying architecture. MQ stands for Motivational Quotient Index.
Okay.
LiDi Ai doesn't just ask you multiple choice questions about whether you like working in teams. It actively calculates a student's motivation DNA.
Meaning what exactly? What kind of inputs are we talking about?
It analyzes complex behavioral inputs. It uses natural language processing to analyze free text responses, tracking not just what a student says, but how they frame their problem-solving approaches.
Interesting.
It measures response times, cognitive flexibility during interactive scenario simulations, and linguistic markers of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation.
So it essentially maps out the psychological drivers that actually get you out of bed in the morning.
Yes. Connecting who you are on the inside with tangible job market opportunities.
Here's where it gets really interesting. When you look at the actual data from the source material, the way it applies these findings is kind of mind-blowing.
It really is. Let's look at how this plays out in practice.
Right.
Say the MQ analysis reveals a student's motivation DNA is heavily driven by curiosity and a desire for continuous learning.
A traditional placement office might see a business degree and just throw them into standard B2B sales.
Exactly. But LiDi Ai actively guides them toward problem-solving roles. It points them toward fields like research, consulting, or innovation, where that natural curiosity is the core requirement.
Because if you put that same curiosity-driven student in a highly repetitive, rigidly structured role, they're going to mentally check out in a week.
Precisely.
Yep.
And let's look at the flip side.
Okay.
The forces outline a scenario with a student whose intrinsic drivers lean heavily toward influence, autonomy, and leadership.
Right. So the AI recognized that placing them in an isolated back-end data crunching role would be a disaster.
Regardless of how stellar their quantitative grades were.
Right. Instead, the algorithm specifically steered them toward management training programs and entrepreneurship incubators.
Environments where guiding teams and exerting influence are the actual metrics for success.
It totally changes the value proposition for the companies hiring these grads, too.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it becomes clear why enterprise HR departments are adopting this so quickly. It is a massive operational win.
Because when students are placed in roles that naturally match their intrinsic motivations, companies aren't just getting employees who smile more.
Right. They're seeing objectively better performance metrics.
Yeah, the sources highlight that companies using the MQ framework report significantly longer retention rates for early career hires,
Drastically reducing turnover costs and accelerating internal growth.
So what does this all mean? Ultimately, it means LiDi Ai isn't just some static, one-off assessment you take at a career fair to land your first gig.
No, it is designed to act as a continuous career coach.
A dynamic tool that travels with you from the college campus well into the workforce, continuously tracking and updating your profile as your motivations evolve over time.
Because nobody stays the exact same person they were at 22.
Exactly. And for anyone wanting to dig into the algorithms or the research data behind this, you can learn more over at TalentMotives.com.
This raises an important question for you, the listener. We know that intrinsic drivers shift as we gain experience and our lives change. If a tool like LiDi Ai mapped your motivation DNA right now, today, how radically would it differ from the day you first entered the workforce?
That's a great point.
And looking at those hypothetical results, is your current career still a match for the person you've become today?
Find out more about MQI and LiDi AI by visiting our website at TalentMotives.com.